watched a movie based on a true story and wondered what really happened? My name is Dan, and that is exactly why I started Based on a True Story, the podcast comparing Hollywood movies with history. I've explored the historical accuracy of movies and TV shows on my show, along with Pulitzer Prize-winning authors, world-renowned professors, and even the real people behind the stories. Check it out at basedonatruestorypodcast.com. That's basedonatruestorypodcast.com.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Filmbox Podcast. Today, we're talking about the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, which is not a Pee-wee soccer league or soccer team sponsored by Shane's Tire, but instead is a group of superheroes. And I'm joined by two of those today. I'm your host, Aaron Souza, joined today by Sam Majewski and Connor Jameson. Connor and I were talking about this before the pod, and I said it in a previous episode that I have no idea where these are going whenever I start saying, and I still don't.
Yep. 130 episodes in.
The 123, I think. It's one of those. Anyways, we've been doing this a while. The time I said that was in 2023. So
yep.
It's been a little bit. Anyways, we're talking about the Thunderbolts. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
I'm bolted up, man. How you guys doing?
Okay. Bolted up is not a phrase I ever wanted to hear you say.
Technically, I think that's trademarked by the Chargers, so...
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but...
Well, I don't know. Well, before we talk about Thunderbolts, we gotta talk about what we've been watching lately. And that means we're gonna kick it on over to Sam. What have you been watching recently?
All right. So after the the Star Wars Episode 3 episode that we did, got me really in the mood for Star Wars. So I went and I watched the original animated Clone Wars miniseries.
Okay, yeah, I forgot that you watched the Clone Wars miniseries. I was gonna say I watched the Clone Wars movie, the one that came out that was really trash.
I watched the entire Clone Wars TV series.
Yeah, like that. That's what you wanted to watch after I did Revenge of the Sith.
No, the OG one from 2003, so good. Then I went to go see Thunderbolts on Friday night, I think. And then over the weekend, in the past couple days, I watched Mission Impossible 1 through 5.
Nice.
Rewatched Mission Impossible 1 through 5. I have seen all of them before, except for Dead Reckoning, so I'll get there eventually.
It'd be funny if that's the one you just keep missing.
Right.
Or Final.
the most,
or I watch Final and Not Dead.
One to watch.
Yeah, or I watch Final and
do.
Not Dead. Yeah, and then I've been watching Last of Us TV show. It's coming out every Sunday.
How do you feel about Last of Us?
So there's a very big difference between these video game adaptation movies and video adaptation TV shows, right? So typically video game adaptation movies aren't the greatest. However, most of the TV shows are pretty decent, because you got Fallout that got well received. I haven't watched it yet. Last of Us. We don't talk about Halo.
That's fine.
But yeah, I think I like this season. They're starting to stray away from the game a lot more, which I don't know how I feel about it. Especially in this last episode and with everything that's going on with Tommy, Ellie, and Dina. But overall, I think it's still pretty solid. So
good.
And then I'm actually drinking a Sprite. I actually have
Wow.
Sprite.
A full sugar Sprite.
I don't usually drink soda, but I was in the mood tonight for soda. So.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say you never drink. The last time I think you had a soda was like a Franie's, maybe.
No, the only sodas I drink is Sprite, ginger ale, and Dr. Pepper.
All right, I have seen. So, what date did we record last?
29th.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh, yes. All right. So, the last time we podcasted, I said I was in the middle of watching the original Mission Impossible. I have since finished that and then watched 2, 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout in the span of like 5 days. It's just been like one after another, which has been quite fun. I very much enjoy them. If you look at my rankings of them on Letterboxd, it goes like we start at a 3.5 and we do a little dip and then it's just straight up from there.
Yeah, because this is your first watch. Well, this is your first watch through, right?
Yeah, through most of them. I'd seen parts of ones like Rogue Nation, Fallout, Ghost Protocol on TV. Just because, like, you know, those are the ones that are always on. But yeah, I hadn't seen the original. I had seen 2 or 3 before, and unlike Sam, I have seen Dead Reckoning. That was the first and only Mission Impossible I had watched up until this
That's wild.
this journey. I know. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones, though. I went over freshman year. I had not seen a single episode of Game of Thrones and watched the season 7 finale with Andrew and Karen and all of them. When it came out, like on release night, I went over and watched it, even though I hadn't seen any Game of Thrones prior.
I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast or just to you guys, but when season 8 was like 3 weeks away, me and my roommate Ty binged the entire show in 3 weeks.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I was like an iPad kid without the iPad. Like, I just carried my laptop with me everywhere I went, just watching Game of Thrones. And for that ending.
I know. Well, I did the same thing too. Like, once I started, I literally remember there would be nights, because I was in college, there would literally be nights where it'd be like, okay, I'm just going to watch an episode for before bed at like 10 o'clock. And then by 2 a.m., I've watched 4 episodes. I'm like, fuck, I'm so tired, but it's so good.
It's the Battle of the Bastards. How am I supposed to turn it off?
I know. So anyways, in addition to watching all of the Mission Impossibles, I was able to see the new A24 film Sorry Baby, which is Ava Victor's directorial debut. Also wrote and starred in. I thought it was really good, quite funny, which was good. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when it comes out, because it was really, really good. And then today, about an hour and a half ago, I just finished up watching Thunderbolts.
Nice.
And I just have water today. Nothing special.
So,
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like you guys, binged an entire franchise pretty much. But unlike you guys, it was not Mission Impossible. I watched the entire Final Destination franchise because Bloodlines comes out next week. And little tease, me and Marcel will have something coming out for that.
I believe too. I have an invite to go see that early. I think this week. I was gonna watch it, but I also haven't seen any of the. I've seen maybe Final No, you know what it is? I've watched the Dead Meat episodes on the Final Destinations. That's my experience with them.
I gotta be honest. Before watching The Force Awakens, that was kind of like my entire experience with Star Wars, but with like cinema sins and cinema wins. Like, I had watched those kind of videos of it, and I was like, I get the gist of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, watch all the Final Destinations, starting with 5, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then right smack dab in between that, I watched Neighborhood Watch. It's a 2025 release with Jack. Quaid and what's his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan, where he plays like a Jack Quaid is a schizophrenic who thinks he sees like a girl get kidnapped. It was okay. It was pretty good.
What in the world? There's a different. I thought you were going to talk about oh yes, there was a movie called The Watch. Yeah,
no,
with Ben
not
Stiller,
one.
Vince Vaughn. That I thought you were
with
talking
the
about. I was like,
aliens.
why did you watch that?
No, it was good. I mean, Jack Wade's pretty good, and I'm glad to see him take on like different types of roles too that will challenge him. I gotta get back to my list now. And then I watched Days of Thunder. Actually, I didn't even notice. I watched Days of Thunder, immediately watched Thunderbolts after that. Little thunder.
Nice. You were feeling the thunder.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. And then I watched Minority Report. If you can sense a theme. I realized that I had seen like a lot of Tom Cruise movies, and I've come to the conclusion that my goal is just he's going to be the first actor or actress that I just 100% watch their entire filmography.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm at like 20 already, so halfway there.
Not bad. Yeah.
And I got
very nice
Coca-Cola orange cream so I can crack for the boys.
Beautiful.
And I'm pouring it into my Thunderbolts cup.
Didn't hear
Beautiful.
it, but it's fine.
I know it's registered. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. Well, Connor, I know you had something you wanted to touch on real quick before we talk about Thunderbolts.
Yeah. So, in college, we were talking about college a bit. I minored in econ. So news, obviously, like this kind of stands out to me. So President Trump announced on Truth Social that he wanted to implement a 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S., claiming that the movie industry in America is dying. And in his normal like Truth Social rants, it doesn't make a ton of sense, offers no clarity. No one knows what the hell he's talking about. Or if he's even serious.
He's already walked it back.
Yeah,
he's already
exactly.
walked it back a little bit. Like today, I think it was, where he said like, "Oh, we're gonna look into it," which basically is code for it's never gonna happen.
It was like, hey, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have let John Voight whisper in my ear last night. But
it's an interesting situation all around. And I don't want to make this podcast political. I don't believe that's the point of what we do. But this is affecting an industry that we all love. We have talked about for 3 years now. And so, we got to say something about it. I don't know. I don't understand how you tariff a movie and what that exactly means.
again, it would be nice if he had a coherent thought and could like explain himself.
That said, I do believe that somewhere in the ramblings there is a very prescient point of the U.S. collectively is losing a lot of production business overseas, and we need to do something to incentivize people to want to work in the U.S. Is that 100% tariff? Absolutely not. Are there tax incentives that you could do? 100%.
I was gonna say it's tax incentive based because it's Great Britain, or just Britain, I guess, and Canada offered the best tax incentives for just filmmakers elsewhere. I think it's around like 29% can be like written off. Which when you're making like $100 million movie or beyond, it's massive. And
That's
then
significant. chunk of change.
Even for like the minor movies, or like the smaller budget, I believe I saw it could be even more, like closer to 50%. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's really weird too, because I think it's an attempt. I don't know, because Georgia has kind of become the new Hollywood.
Atlanta, yeah.
Because that's where those tax incentives are, and that's where, I mean, we're going to talk about Marvel. That's where Marvel does, like, their shooting pretty much, if they're not on location elsewhere. But it is fascinating to think, what do you do about a movie like Mission Impossible, where
the film's all over the world, but it's an American production.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's not like you can't tell the story without going around the world.
Right. Like, I couldn't imagine them doing the Ghost Protocol stuff in Dubai, where he's hanging off the building, but they're just on like a studio lot in LA or in Seattle or something. Like, yeah, it's not the same. But again, I think that it's like he's grabbing at the issue, but not in a way that's helpful. Tax incentives and working with people to figure out, okay, how do we do this versus just saying on Truth Social tariff time is like, that could be something, but yeah, it's interesting. I'll say the least.
Yeah.
All right. Are you guys ready to talk about Thunderbolts?
Yep.
All right. I am not going to play any sort of music. I learned my lesson from last time.
Do the episode 3 one. Thank
you. So I just, in the same vein that we talked about Sinners, because we're going to kind of take it in the same direction. This is a new movie. We're not going to do like a scene by scene sort of analysis. Instead, we're going to talk about the movie at a much higher level and then speak to it in sections a little bit more specifically. So I guess like non-spoilery portion of the podcast, I just want to go around the horn. I'll start with you, Sam. Like, give me your thoughts on Thunderbolts overall.
MCU's crawling back. MCU is crawling back.
Yeah.
Very different, I guess, themes and vibes I got from this movie than recent Marvel projects. I haven't seen Daredevil, the new Daredevil series yet, but I think
really count.
I can assure you it's more Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably... we'll get into it, but I think this is... I enjoyed watching this one with this film. So.
Yeah, no, Connor, what about you? Give me kind of your thoughts here.
This is so I'm very online, so I've seen like people kind of post their reactions to it. So I kind of knew that people were liking it a lot more than other Marvel movies in the past like couple years. And I had told you this, that I kind of got a feeling that this movie was going to be better. And it was. Like, I was excited to see this, and I felt like it did live up to those expectations. Like you were saying, Sam, it does approach different themes than a normal Marvel movie. I had that tweet a while ago, like, they marketed it as, like, the anti-Marvel Marvel movie. How they had, like, all these A24 directors and editors and cinematographers working on this movie, and when you watch the movie, it shows. Like, it just feels like it's a whole... It's just a new, like, energy with this movie, which is why I think a lot of people are happy to, like, go back and watch this movie.
I think you hit the nail on the head, too, of, like, it feels different. And I had a realization, and maybe it's because I've been watching all of the Mission Impossibles, But this is like the most Mission Impossible feeling Marvel movie that's come out in a very long time.
And I say that Mission Impossible from this Thunderbolts.
Well, I say that very specifically because when you look at the things that made Mission Impossible great, it's practical stunts, it's actual fight choreography, it's a story that is grand in scale but small in focus. You know, it's this one team or about Ethan Hunt or whatever. And it feels like all of those things that made those movies really good, they have brought over to this movie. There's practical stunts and practical sets. There's a care about a smaller scale story in the grand scheme of what they've been trying to do recently. It's a lot different. You know, when you look even back at like Captain America: Brave New World, like it just felt all fake. Like all of the fights were fake. It was all done on digital backgrounds. I mean, the flower the whatever the
Lily
called
blossoms.
the blossoms, lily blossoms were seen was awful because it was obviously on a soundstage and no one was actually there and it was all green screen. Like this was a lot different. Yes, there are still some Marvelifications of it all. You know, some cringy humor, some non-practical set work and stuff like that. But for the most part, you're getting something that feels more like a Mission Impossible or a Jason Bourne or a John Wick than you're getting Captain America: Brave New World or something to that degree.
And I think what goes to it is there's so much more care to the characters as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to make the comparison back to Brave New World, like, again, they're established characters that we've seen before, and you just didn't care about, like, a Daniel Ramirez as much. You didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
And they didn't really do anything in the story to make you care.
Exactly.
Either.
But here, it's like, they take the time, they really set the groundwork to make it feel like this is not just going to be, like, your team for this movie, but it's going to be the team going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't think that this is just like a one-time thing. Like, you know, Yelena's going to be back. This whole team's going to be back. So
Yeah,
I think go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think, well, because all these characters were like either side characters or villains in the projects that they started before, and now we get to a little bit more of like them being the main actor. Like yes, this movie did focus on Yelena and Alexei kind of a lot more than the other ones, but we still got to see the John Walker and Ghost and all the other ones, just to see their background more and got more attached to them.
And I think too, what you're kind of touching on too is like these characters, not only are they like kind of background or secondary characters or villains in other films, but also as far as like powers, superhero powers go, fairly pedestrian in the grand scheme of what we've been seeing.
yeah.
You've got a couple super soldiers, but they're still hand-to-hand combat guys. You got one person that can go invisible in and out, which is a cool quirk for a fight, especially in a superhero movie. You've got a trained assassin, and then yes, you've got an invincible god at some point, but that's neither here nor there. But like, when you look at again other movies, like we keep bringing up Brave New World, you had a Hulk. You look at last year. What was last year? Was last year the Marvels?
It was just Deadpool and Wolverine last year, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, last year was Deadpool and Wolverine. You had, those are highly powerful characters that,
mutants
don't die.
Yeah.
Then you had the Marvels in 2023, and that was like 3 uber powerful, cosmic scale characters. And it's like all of a sudden now you've got this movie where these characters are pared down. It feels more realistic. You can choreograph actual fight scenes, and it shows. It's an actual proper action movie. And then you couple that with a story that actually, isn't
Makes sense and is good.
Yeah, it makes sense and is good, and you have something successful.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it. Makes sense and is good.
I mean, just get the
Sometimes
point
it's that
across.
simple though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to make it super complicated. It can sometimes just be cut and paste easy.
Right.
Yeah,
It
right.
starts
You don't have to
be-
reinvent the wheel.
I was gonna say it starts being too much like bad if you try to put too much in it.
Right. So I guess if we want to talk spoilery, I'll kind of mark this as like a if you don't want to hear the spoilers of the movie, stop here and come back.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. I do have spoiler alert.
For the first pick in the spoiler draft of Thunderbolts, Aaron Souza selects.
Reed Richards.
Woo! No. So I actually want to ask you about your theater experiences. Do you have anything going on in your theaters this time around?
Not really. It was
until the
busy.
end.
It was busy. But yeah, there was this guy like a couple of rows in front of me that like just bursted out laughing at every single joke.
Oh Jesus!
Well, not every single joke, but like a lot of the actual funny ones.
Yeah,
And then people obviously cheered at the post-credit scene. So
of course.
I will say, everyone kind of like chuckled at the jokes and people were having a good time. The only time people cheered was when the end said the team will return. And Bob.
We are in the spoilers section. So
I know,
Yes,
but
and
I
Bob.
want to save that.
Spoilers.
I want to save that for the end.
yeah, and
Okay.
Bob. Yeah, people did
Once
laugh at
and
that too.
Bob showed up, at least
People were
three
happy.
people were like, "Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, they're like Bob.
we got to get the Bob cinematic universe going for Lewis Pullman."
It'll literally just be him.
we need Bull Pullman in here now.
Oh God.
Bob
Yeah, I
Pullman.
don't. I wanted to ask too because this was really weird in my theater, but I got back-to-back Mission Impossible Final Reckoning trailers.
What?
Did either of you experience this?
I walked
no.
in literally as soon as the Marvel credits started
Oh,
going.
good.
Like,
I got
thought
there
was
a
gonna-
little
I thought
early
I was
this
gonna
time.
be late, so I was like,
I
oh,
think I
thank
only-
Christ.
No, I only saw the Fantastic Four trailer. I think.
Yeah,
And
I
think
literally
one Final
got
Reckoning.
I got Final Reckoning, and it was like the extended, like 2.5-3 minute Final Reckoning trailer. And then immediately after the very next trailer was Final Reckoning, but like the 60-second spot. What? And I was like, wait a minute. And there were multiple people in the theater who acknowledged that this was a back-to-back trailer. All of a sudden, people were like, wait a minute. And I was like, wait, huh?
Do we not have any more movies coming out?
Literally. I walked in on Jurassic World, and then they pulled a bamboozle on me. Because, like, they did the trailers, and it was like, okay, great, cool, we're done with the trailers. And then they did the, what was it? What's the one, the Mayhem Insurance? Like,
Allstate?
was it Allstate? Yeah, they did an Allstate commercial. I was like, oh, okay, cool. We've done with the previews.
Once we get into the
Now I got a
ads.
commercial. Now we're gonna... No! After the Allstate, they played like two or three more trailers.
So
I was like, wait a minute.
That happened with me too. Like they play.
Yeah.
I don't. It's been recent though. They've been playing a trailer and then an ad and then a trailer and then an ad, or two trailers and then an ad. But once you guys go to Cinemark or no?
Yeah, I do.
No, I got a showcase.
So once the XD thing that they do come as like experience this movie.
You won't want to watch Final Reckoning on a screen this small.
or it's the Italian mafia thing.
Oh yeah.
Or the
Hey, we're gonna make us
there's-
sleep with the fishes? No, we're just giving them movie deals.
or then there's one where it's like the
God.
guy that like gets his food and comes in after everybody's cheering. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Could you believe that?" No, I can't. It's so bad.
I don't get any of those kind of things.
I'm gonna have these
That
all
showcase, they're
memorized,
lazy.
like the Nicole Kidman AMC speech.
Oh, God.
What's her name? Fucking Menounos.
Maria Menounos. Yeah, her
Heel Squad podcast. Her Heel Squad podcast
goes on before every. That's why I never go before like 10 minutes before.
I don't want to see that bitch.
All I hear is I know that it's done when the lights dim, and I hear "Attention, cinema goers!" and that's like they do this like announcement of like the exits are here and here, and blah 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 blah, and it's like, okay, here we go.
They don't do it. They don't give a shit about us.
No, I was just gonna say, you know what I haven't noticed? They haven't done like a "please turn off your phones" one in a while.
Yeah.
It's all right. Anyways, let's talk about Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we're wasting the spoiler section on Cinemark.
Yeah. I'm going to call it now is the spoiler section.
Spoiler alert now.
Yeah, so the opening scene with Yelena doing the free dive, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
This sort of like it felt really fresh. It was like practical action, practical sets, choreographed fights in a hallway, actual cinematography. Like, it was good. I liked it.
Especially knowing that she, at least at the initial jump to herself with all like the behind the scenes stuff they posted, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked how they shot the first action scene of like from like with the shadows, kind of like as a foreshadowing.
Cool. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Of what's to come.
I hate that you said that, but yes.
Good one. I liked it.
Yeah, it just was really cool. It was actual like choreographed cinematography. Okay. Okay.
We'll see if that gets picked
I have
up.
no idea if that's going to be on the recording at all.
Probably not.
But no, it was really cool. The story stuff kind of is like I was following along a little bit. But what I really want to talk about, I guess the first thing that really the major stuff that I want to talk about was like this whole mission to the lab, which was like right in the first 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about like sort of that whole section, I guess?
I mean, I really like the fighting and choreography.
Oh, yeah. When they're all like showing off their individual like fight styles, so you have like, well, Taskmaster, which we'll get into, is like the one who can like.
I mean, just get into it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she gets pieced immediately, but
that was insane.
Yeah, one of the few things I didn't really like about this, but anyway, like she obviously can like mirror anyone's fight style, but the way that like she and John fought with the shields, and then the way like when she was fighting Ghost, she was like matching her shots with her shield. It was just really cool to see how they were matching fight styles.
Absolutely. Yeah, that said though, that you definitely touched on a point that I want to talk about, which is they just murked Taskmaster immediately.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to get a little bit more time. But no, it was literally like, oh, hey, never mind.
Or at least like she comes back or something. Like they didn't actually kill her. Or
she's just
dead.
Yeah. So I like you guys have seen Black Widow, right? It's not the best.
Yeah, we actually saw it at Sam's house like 3 years ago.
Yeah. It's not like the best like rendition of Taskmaster, but still I just felt bad that they made the actress like show up and do like all the promotion stuff and like put her on the posters and like made her like edit her into all the trailers when they just put her down like a dog.
Literally, in like within 5 minutes of her being there.
Which sucks because like some of the earlier drafts said like, oh, we're gonna have her like stick around and she was gonna have like memory loss, and it was gonna be a bit that she would just keep forgetting that they became friends and keep trying to kill John, which would have been funny.
Cool. Yeah,
especially if you time it right. But
Yeah, I think to one of the, you mentioned the jokes and John Walker, and one of the things that I guess I wasn't as fond of with this movie is how much they made John Walker kind of a doofus. Like, he ended up being the one who was like the comic relief, played up for laughs kind of guy. And he just kind of was a doofus at times. And like, it went beyond just like boastful confidence and into like slapstick idiot territory, which I was not super a fan of.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, I like the whole setup of like everyone thinks that they're there to stop someone else from being, from stealing from Valentina, but the fact that he just kept going on and on, like, no, I'm actually the one who's supposed to bring you all in, and everyone's like, dude, we're past this. We're all about to be incinerated right now, and he's like, actually, there's probably like a helicopter waiting for me up there.
Yeah. That said, too, I literally clocked that they were all there to kill each other, like, immediately. I don't know how they did not clock it.
Yeah.
Oh, once the first a third person shows up, it's like, all right.
Oh,
Yeah, I understand what's happening now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the dramatic irony of it, is that we know that Valentina is doing everything possible to cover her tracks. So, I mean, this is kind of where you need to do a little bit of homework and realize, okay, she has ties to Yelena from like the Hawkeye show, and I guess the end of Black Widow or whatever. John Walker from the end of Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Excuse me.
I thought they changed the name.
I don't care enough, to be honest.
But then, like, I don't know about Ghost. I don't know why she was there.
I have no clue. But no, it was good. I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's an interesting way to bring them all together in a way that's pretty seamless.
Yeah, but then the original story was just in there. Like, there was never going to be another. Like, the entire story was just supposed to take place there.
Oh, in the lab?
Yeah,
that's cool.
It would have been, I guess, just like an escape room type movie.
That would have been cool.
Would have been interesting, but
yeah,
I'm glad what we got. Because we got Bob.
I want to talk. Yeah, we got Bob. I want to talk about the direction, I guess, a little bit. Because I was looking at this movie was directed by Jake Schreier, who, if you have not heard of Jake Schreier, I do not blame you, because he has directed all of 3 movies. The last one being in 2015, he directed Paper Towns. And then he directed Robot and Frank, which was his debut feature from 2012. I don't know how they landed on him for Thunderbolts. Because he hasn't really even done... Oh, he directed Beef?
Yeah, he directed Beef, the Netflix show.
yeah.
But, like, is that really, like, a qualifier to direct a Marvel movie?
I think it had enough vision to get him on the board. I would prefer that than just like recycling a name.
It's fair. And I'm not saying that I think it was really solid. I mean, he put together a decent story that worked, but also it was kind of like, how did you get this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to get their start somewhere.
Exactly. It's just crazy. You look at his filmography and it's like, okay, movie about a comedy drama TV series and also a romantic comedy movie from almost 10 years ago, and then Thunderbolts. It's like, whoa, dude.
Well, it's kind of like
impressive.
How they got like Chloe Zhao to do the Eternals.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
Yeah, right.
But that was coming off Best Director, so that makes a bit more sense.
Right. Yeah, but as far as like the performance in the movie, I thought he did a good job. I mean, he put together scenes that worked And the story had obviously gone through a bunch of rewrites, and he collected what those rewrites made, and then made a movie that actually felt grounded and fresh for Marvel, which, you know, is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk categories, I guess, because we got some categories to go through. So let's first touch on acting. That's usually our first category. So, Sam, why don't you just kind of speak to the acting of the film?
I think the acting was actually pretty solid. I think the chemistry between everybody, and like sometimes with a lot of these big castings, is like you have like a couple chemistries here and there, a couple people having chemistry there, but I think all of everybody had great chemistry together. I can't go wrong with David Harbour. He was great.
He's great.
I love him.
It's so interesting because, like, obviously David Harbour, most people know him from Stranger Things, but like when he's here as Red Guardian, it's like that's a Russian guy. Yeah. And I know in my mind it's David Harbour. I know it. I see it. But all I can think of is big Russian guy.
Yes.
And it's great.
But yeah, I just think everybody did really well. Especially with the scenes with when Yelena gets pulled into the void, with her in her past. I think those were great too. So she really, Florence Pugh really showed emotion in those scenes, and
yeah, she definitely did a lot of hard carrying of some of the moments. Throughout the film, but obviously she's a phenomenal actress. I mean, Florence Pugh is incredibly talented, and really showed here too why she's one of the best actors working under 30 right now. No, she's just powerful. She commands the screen when she's on. She's able to deliver emotional moments, but also she can act physical. Like she knows how to be an action star, but also extremely emotional and distant in a way that fits the character. I also love too, I gotta mention too, I love how speaking of Florence Pugh, the beginning scenes where she's just like nonchalantly kicking a bunch of guys' ass and going through the mission is so much fun. And I think is like a different side of that sort of action thing that we don't really see. It's like, what happens when you're just bored?
Well, I do love that character decision of like, yeah, she's just like a hired gun, assassin, mercenary, whatever. But at the end of the day, she's just lonely. She really just wants a friend.
Right.
But she can't have one because like she's an assassin. She's like,
and everybody tries to kill her too.
Exactly. She can't really let people that close who can't like, be a superhuman as well and defend themselves. And obviously, like her sister was one of them, and then she got, yeeted off, or
killed.
She yeeted herself off a cliff.
Yeah. Connor, I want to talk to you about kind of the two newish characters, or at least the characters that get one new character and one that gets a lot more spotlight here. Bob and then Valentina.
Yes.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Lewis Pullman. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about their performances?
Man, I'll start with Lewis because I've been a big fan of his for a minute
since Bob number 1.
Since Strangers Part 2 they come in. I thought he was excellent in all aspects of this. Like when he's Bob, I think he perfectly has that energy of like, oh shit, I forgot you were here. Like just kind of like that personality that can escape a room without ever leaving it. But at the same time, I thought he was like really charming, really funny too. Like when they're trying to climb out and he's like, trying to hold in his sneeze. And then once they are like dangling and it's just like this little baby sneeze. But then when he becomes the Sentry, I thought it was a really good choice on his end. I don't know actually if it was a choice or if it was just how it played out, but he looked uncomfortable in the costume, and I felt like it just matched the character who was like, very insecure. He was like, is this what I should be doing? Like, I don't know if the hair looks good because they dyed his hair blonde, and he was still like trying to figure out like his role and like what these people's intentions were with him. And then when he becomes the Void, I had goosebumps.
Oh yeah, he was really good.
Like, I loved their decision with his appearance, the way they made his voice sound, just everything. So he was awesome. I know Stephen Ewan was originally lined up to be Bob, or just the Sentry. But I'm glad Lewis stepped in, and I thought he nailed it. Mm-hmm. And then Julia, or is it Julia or Julie?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah. I thought she is like that perfect kind of like slimy politician type character, where it's like, I am always going to be one step ahead of you. Like, you can try to impeach me, but while you're doing that, like, I'm already like wiping all this evidence. While when this project is already like, the Sentry project is working, and like we have the Sentry, and they get the media there, the way she's able to pivot and launch the new Avengers, which is what this movie is now called.
Whoa!
There it is. Like, the way that she's just able to pivot when she's dealt like a new hand of cards is masterful. And I feel like she's just a veteran at doing that.
Yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is really good. I mean, she's a great actress. She's a legendary TV actress. But also, I have in my notes here too, she's really great at being a dick. Just like straight up. Yeah. Just like being a real jerk. And it's like, it got to a point in some scenes, especially with her assistant Mal, who's played by oh man, I just had the name.
Give me 1 second.
No, don't let me die on
Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine Viswanathan. Yes, thank you. I knew the last name, couldn't think of the first name. She's like it just makes me so angry. Like, I just get so mad because she's just such an asshole. But she plays it really well.
She had that one line, and I'm trying to find it now, when she's talking to Mao. After, like, she has the, Mao has, like, that coming to conscious moment of, like, yeah, I told Bucky kind of, like, the whole deal. I forget what it was. It was so good about, like, righteousness without power is just something. It's just, like, noise or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I know what you're
that's
talking
it.
about.
You got it. You got it. Righteousness without noise is like power or something or whatever. Yeah, no. I want to touch on David Harbour as well, because I thought he was really good, but like genuinely funny too. Like, that character is probably the best comic relief that you have in the film. And then people like, you know, Sebastian Stan, just a veteran, knows what he's doing. And even Wyatt Russell was pretty solid.
I will say, maybe this is a kind of a hot take. I feel like you could have removed Bucky from the story.
I was going to say that. And you know what? Let's use that as a moment to transition to the story/script. Because I think you're exactly right. And that was one of my notes, is like, why is Bucky in this movie? He has no reason to be here.
I think it's just fan service.
I was literally going to say, I think you have Sebastian Stan. You put Bucky in because you want Sebastian Stan in more than you need Bucky.
Yeah. I can see that, because literally when you look at the story, it's like, here's a bunch of outcasts and misfits and guys that don't really belong and like aren't really heroes, and then also an Avenger.
Yeah. It would, like, I don't know who you put in his place. Like, I know in other Thunderbolt iterations, it's like Zemo is like that, like Thunderbolt, but also Thunderbolt Ross is normally in it too. But I don't know. I feel like he doesn't do much that you couldn't get elsewhere.
Yeah, no, it's true. It kind of doesn't really work for the story, but also works for this as like a grounding force, I guess.
I mean, he fits into the themes of like all these characters have like these like years and years of like these dark memories and like this deep shame. So he does fit there, but the movie is obviously following more Yelena than anyone, so it's not like we're diving into his past,
right?
Or anyone's really. Like, we just see like a glimpse of John being like a deadbeat dad, and Valentina's dad getting killed, but that's kind of it for like people's past.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too, because like one of the things I wrote down is we get a lot on obviously Yelena's story. You get a lot on, or at least a decent amount with Red Guardian and with John Walker. There's not a lot here for Ghost as well, which was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I forget how much we get with her in Ant-Man and Wasp.
I mean, you see like, a decent amount, but like I would have loved it. The most we got here is like she keeps saying, "Yes, I was raised in cages," but then that's it. Like there's nothing else.
Yeah, because we never got a flashback with her. Because we got one with John Walker. We got one with. We already know Bucky's story, and I like that one of his lines when he was asked. I forget what
like
was
in the
like,
trauma room.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, my past is like some."
It's all peaches and sunshine.
Yeah,
it's all peaches.
It's a good one. Yeah, there's a few moments around here, that are Marvel-ified. If I had to put a word on it, it's like stuff played up for laughs to appease like teenage audiences. And like some instances of virtual sets and stuff like that like is obvious. Like Marvel's like, we need to have some of this stuff in there. But I was really impressive to me that they basically made the entire film around depression and grief, from top to bottom. I mean, this is obviously, it's described as it's described as an ensemble cast, but really it's Yelena's story. And her story is all about overcoming her trauma and grief over losing her sister and trying to find a family. And then also
rooms and stuff.
Right. And then Bob, who ends up becoming the villain of at the end of the story, like his whole deal is he's manic depressive. He has great highs and really terrible lows, and he was basically a drug addict that wanted to kill himself up until he started this super soldier thing.
Yeah, great highs.
And yeah, well, he was apparently a meth addicted chicken. Which that was a little weird. That scene was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of
that was pretty funny when Alexei like grabs him when they're in that room, and he's like, "If you hit me again, I'm going to kill you." And he's like, "I'm sorry, I was on meth."
Yeah,
because like that's a line that you don't write for teens, but is like just
it was like, yeah, it was good. But it was cool to see like the whole thing was kind of that allegory for overcoming those things, which is something you don't see in Marvel. I mean, literally, we've talked about it a lot, but looking back at Captain America Brave New World, there is no central message in that story. It's literally just like, Red Hulk, yes! And that's it.
Yeah. Like
this actually has underlying themes to it, which I was pretty impressed with.
I mean, the entire final conflict with the Void is so sad, and honestly, it got me tearing up.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, another going back to one of my theater reacting, they all like gasped when the little girl got cast into the void.
Yeah, that was brutal.
I could have laughed. I'm like,
that was kind of, it's just how blunt it was.
She's like,
it was kind of funny. He saved her. I thought there was going to be like cheers, and all of a sudden she's like, "Foop, gone." Oh wait, damn.
Yeah, but so again, like, so I've seen. Obviously, we've seen the Spider-Man, but I've seen Daredevil Born Again now. There's no way that they have to acknowledge this, because this is a New York wide void.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like,
this is a major event.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but they also didn't acknowledge the Eternals stuff until Brave New World.
Yeah.
And even then, it was not like a central focus.
Now they have a clear focus. Like, I don't know if every time like there's something coming out about Kevin Feige, it sounds like he just wanted to like quit.
Well, didn't he just release a statement like today or yesterday or something like that?
Yeah, he was
like Marvel is now all you have to do a bunch of, it feels like homework or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw something where he was like the past couple years, like he didn't want to talk about Marvel. He was just like so burnt out from like everything that was going on. He was like, the creatives had to like chase him down to like get stuff greenlit, like not even like the projects themselves, but like ideas for their projects. And it was just like, he was just like, shut up.
All right, before we go to audio visuals, I do want to talk about the post-credit scenes. There were two. We're going to talk about them. In particular because, it has been going around on the internet, but also like our friend group has seen this movie, and like some of them were kind of freaking out about the end credit scene. I was expecting so much more than what we got from this end credits. I was not impressed. But like everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you see? Don't spoil the end credits. Oh my god." It's like
the movie spoiled the end credits. They put the theme by the Fantastic Four by Giacchino right before they showed the end credits.
Yeah.
Scene.
But also like the movies that movie is coming out in like 2 months. You knew they were going to be like, what?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
shock coming from.
That's how it should be, though.
Well, yes, but I feel like it would have been better if it was like some shadow dropping something, or like, because I read up on that this is the longest post credit scene in Marvel.
Yeah. It felt it,
and I'm like, oh, there's just got to be something good in here, and then I'm like, they just showed the ship, and I'm like, they're not going to actually show them. Like that would have been at least cool. Like,
what would have been cool would have been a Doctor Doom sneak.
Right. Yeah.
Like that would have been cool. It's like, oh, cool. You showed us the ship for the movie that's literally coming out in 2 months and we know is already going to be a part of the MCU. Like big fucking whoop.
But no. That's how it should be though. Cause like how many end credit scenes do they have that have led to nothing? Because like
that's true.
They do end credit scene for something that they have maybe planned for like 5 years out, and then plans change and like, yeah, we're not gonna do anything with like Scorpion for Spider-Man. So now it's like, oh well, that end credit scene is useless. So I think it's better to just like get people hyped for the next project, because then that end credit scene could very easily be, oh, hey, here's Doom.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess it's like, it's more like My issue is not necessarily with the end credit scene itself. It's with the reactions to it.
Yeah,
like people freaking out about like how epic the end credit scene was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it wasn't. It was fine.
That's fair. If you're someone who doesn't like watch trailers or like stay up to date, I'm sure that that probably hit like crack.
Yeah. Those people are going to go home and be like, wait, there's a Fantastic Four movie coming in 2 months? What?
They're gonna dial up Ask Jeeves and be like, what is Fantastic Four movie?
Stupid. But like, you know, the best end credit scene to me is the one with Thanos when he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. Like, that's epic because that like teases a big bad villain that like, okay, this is gonna be a thing. If you do that with Doom, that's perfect. With this, it's just like, okay, cool.
Maybe they'll show Doom in the post credit scene for Fantastic Four. So,
but it's like, okay,
we'll
do you remember what the end credit scene was for Brave New World?
Oh yes, I do. It was like with the leader or some bullshit.
Yeah, and him saying that there's like a multiversal threat coming.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, dude, we know.
Exactly. So what do you want? Do you want the big threat or do you want?
Yeah, but that one was dumb because it was like,
it was dumb.
That one was dumb. Show don't tell. That's my whole deal. Anyways, all right, let's talk about audio and visuals. Because this is a more unique film, and I think audio kind of doesn't really apply, but visuals I think is something that I definitely want to touch on.
Well, because pretty good too.
The score was, it was fine.
I like the Avengers score coming back towards the end.
Yeah. No, but it wasn't like
we're not breaking new ground here,
right? It wasn't like a Sinners audio where it's like that was epic and
it's not
like the whole reason of the film, right? Yeah. It's just like, okay, cool. They threw in a remixed Avengers theme and they like muted out the Marvel music at the beginning, like woo. And then the whole middle of the film was like, okay, whatever. It's just action movie music. But visually, this is an impressive movie because they do a lot outside of what has been the Marvel norm. And we've talked about it a bit already. They shoot practically. There's a lot of use of practical sets here. And I think it works. Good fight choreography. I don't know. How do you guys feel? What did you guys feel about visually about Thunderbolts?
I love the look of Sentry, to be honest.
God,
like with the glowing eyes and just all black.
Oh, the Void version, yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh my god, I had like
it was
the Void
cool.
version.
Yeah, goosebumps and like.
Oh man,
yeah.
The way like he would just float and like his head would tilt. Like, it felt like a horror movie at that point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it matched, I think, his powers pretty well. I mean, when you have a Shadow Man that can just basically insta-kill people, for all intents and purposes, he has to look intimidating.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a good representation of, like, that darkness inside of him. Kind of like, because the whole movie's just about, like, the darkness inside all of us. Like they have to at first it's like a throwaway line like, oh, what do you do with all that darkness inside? And Yelena's like, oh, you just stuff it down, just keep pushing.
Right.
But yeah, I felt like it was a perfect embodiment of like, no, you do not push because this is the monster it becomes.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And then also like, I pay particular attention now to noticing when like scenes are shot virtually, like on a virtual background, because of the way things are lit and like the backlighting. And I didn't see a ton of it here. They used a lot of practical sets. They were on location for a lot of action sequences, especially in the desert with the cars. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
All of those things, it's like such a stark contrast to what Marvel has been doing lately. which has been extensive green screen work. And again, I think it works for a story like this where it's very muted and very grounded, I guess is the right word. You're not like up in space for 90% of the movie. We're fighting a Hulk. Does anyone want to touch on anything else with the visuals? How this movie looks before I want to get into our final scores here.
No, I mean,
I thought the costumes for like
I was gonna say costumes. Yeah,
costumes were very good, especially at the start, like when they're all in their individual kind of costumes, and then at the very end, the post credits when they have like their new Avengers.
The new Avengers, yeah, that was cool.
I like those.
And then Alexi's tracksuit,
with his
racing suit,
brought to you by I forget who.
The new Avengers.
Brought to you by Salesforce.
All right, let's go to our final scores here. I don't think we need to necessarily give each category a score, but I do want to talk about final scores. So, Sam, I'll kick it off with you. What is your score? And tell me your overall thoughts about Thunderbolts.
Like I said before, I think Marvel's back is on the right track again now. And if they keep making movies like this movie, then it's gonna be good. Obviously there was a couple issues I had with the movie, but overall, I like how they're all like not like gods kind of thing, and they're all like their own little. However, I don't really like the new name, the New Avengers, because I feel like the Avengers need to be some like the original Avengers had like the Hulk,
gods.
Thor, and gods, and if they're gonna be considered the Earth's mightiest heroes and protect Earth from all these celestial, like cosmic and these threats, like I think they need to have a little bit more thing, but it's fine. It is what it is. Whatever. I'm just trying to go. I was going back and forth to what to rate this movie, and I'm looking on the sheet right now, and there's a couple movies that I'd rather watch before this movie, a couple movies that I don't. But I think it's gonna sit in between a 3.5 and a 4. I think I'm gonna give this movie a 3.8.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, yeah, I'll go next, and I am in agreement with a lot of what you have to say. This is a very fun movie. It's a fun movie to watch. I think as far as Marvel goes, it's obviously one of the better ones that's come out recently. But it's, again, maybe it's because I've been watching Mission Impossible a lot recently, but it feels very like action and not like superhero. Like, here's just this cosmically powerful being beating up on CGI no names for 2 hours. And I appreciated it. It looked good. The acting was really solid. I was happy with what I was able to see. And as far as my score goes, there's a few movies here that are like pretty much right in the range of what I was looking at. I think I'm gonna give it just a flat 4. Just a flat 4. I enjoyed it.
Wow, Aaron giving a flat number this time.
I know.
So, I'm going to echo a lot of your sentiments. Like, this is probably the best. Well, I guess it's not fair to say because Guardians 3 came out 2 years ago, and that's probably the best one. But take that out of the equation. This is probably the best Marvel movie since Infinity War, in my opinion. Like it's awesome how fast they made you care about these characters who originally were kind of like either side characters, villains, or honestly just kind of forgettable characters. Like before the Thunderbolts marketing even rolled out, like did not really care about Ghost, didn't really care about Taskmaster. I mean, gotta do the movie,
well,
but
I mean, still don't care about Taskmaster.
Nah. Red Guardian, honestly, didn't really care either. But now it's like I want to watch more of them, and that's like the thing that I think Marvel needs the most is like getting people to like invest in characters again and want to see them on the big screen again. I thought Thunderbolts was it was funny when it needed to be. I thought sometimes the jokes weren't as funny, like the whole Bob bit when Bucky has him all tied up. But at the same time, when Lexi asks Bucky what the plan is, and it just cuts to him driving the van through the building, I thought that was hilarious. I thought Lewis Pullman was excellent. I think the way that the movie addressed these darker tones and deeper themes of like loneliness and depression, and how the void was beaten, I thought that was truly one of the best resolutions to a conflict, about how it's like you're never alone with your depression. Like you always have support, because the void doesn't die. The void is still in him, but now he at least has friends. He has support around him to help him.
He has control.
Exactly, which I think is a very powerful message to say, something that Marvel has not done in a long time. So I'm going to be extremely high on this movie because it was extremely enjoyable, and I would see it again in theaters. I'm giving it a good old 4.5.
Wow, a 4.5. That's an exceptionally high score for Connor.
Yeah. Listen, I rate movies that I had a great experience with very highly.
That is the same score you gave The Parent Trap, by the way.
Yeah.
And Moana, and Challengers, and The Invisible Man from 2020, and then also Call Me By Your Name and Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. So,
yeah.
You know, there's a little stats for you. Oops. That's
Cinema
the wrong way.
Enjoyer over here.
Where did it go? Where did it go? 11th. Okay, so out of all the movies we've done, that puts Thunderbolts at 11th with a 4.10 average, just barely beating The Parent Trap by 0.01, and just below 500 Days of Summer, and just outside the top 10. But again, it feels like it's a solid spot for it. So that's, I think, going to do it for this episode of the Filmbox Podcast. If you like what you listen to, leave a rating, subscribe, and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on socials, too. Those will be linked in the show notes below. And then also go to our website, firstpicturehouse.com. All sorts of new articles coming out, reviews of new movies that we're not doing on the podcast. Great articles, videos, all that kind of stuff. So check it out. And you can, go to our Letterboxd. You can see what we're watching when we're watching them. You don't have to wait for each episode. You can see me watch all of the Mission Impossibles, and Sam watch all the Mission Impossibles. And I'm also going to be going on a huge Tom Cruise run over the next week and a half. So you can see all of the Tom Cruise films that I'm watching to fill out my filmography. As we prepare for an upcoming episode. So sneak preview on that.
Yeah, you can see if I see or not see Dead Reckoning. So
there you go. I would hope you would, because we are going to do a Mission Impossible episode.
Yeah, no, I'm just
whether you like it or not.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
Adios.